Welcome to Gamescom. We're here at the Try-On booth, which is getting louder by the second. And I managed to drag away Adam Gershwitz from all of the noise, and he even waves in game. Look at this professionalism here. Would you like to introduce yourselves and tell us what exactly we're about to look at?
Sure. I'm Adam Gershwitz, one of the producers on Rift, and we're going to take a quick look at some of the things we're showing at Gamescom today, specifically the Harbinger and Volan.
Okay, so the Harbinger is one of the new souls that's coming in.
Yes, indeed. It is a new Mage soul. It's actually a melee-based Mage soul, so we tried to turn things up on their head a little bit. So as you can see, looks pretty much like a Mage. Has his
yeah, I mean the dress, the stick.
The dress and the stick and everything else. But one of the great things about the Harbinger is he can polymorph all of his weapons into a variety of different, fairly badass melee-looking weapons, like that scythe I've got here.
The scythe does seem to be one of the ones that people look at and instantly faint.
Oh yeah, he also has two-handed swords and two-handed axes. But for right now, we'll switch back to the scythe because that's probably my favorite. And we'll show you guys a little bit more about the Harbinger with this. Now, like I said before, the Harbinger is a melee soul, which means he gets up close and personal. It's a little different for mages because they're used to standing back and being a little bit more glass cannons.
Yeah. It's not really something you see in MMOs these days, the mage that's actually able to, tank and take a few hits and likes getting stuck in there.
Yeah, he's not a tank per se, but he is very capable of taking quite a number of hits.
Yeah.
It's very durable calling, especially if you go high up in the tree. It's life-based and storm-based, so it matches up really well with a number of our other mages. And I just realized I don't have any of my GM powers on here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Otherwise, this might be a really quick demo as I fall over dead.
It would be quite interesting for everyone watching.
So, once again, he gets a variety of utility. He has the ability to charge into combat. He also has some nice exit abilities. So if you're the type that wants to throw a fireball or two, let's say I get stuck in with this guy here, I can blink back out of the way, toss a couple fireballs. It allows the extra mobility they need to get in and out of combat and to synergize well with some of the other callings. Now, one of the great things about the Harbinger is we have designed it with melee mages in mind, which means you want situations where you can do things like cast your long cast time spells. So you see I've got an Eldritch Armor proc that allows me to just pop off one or two quick fireballs right in the face, insta-cast off, global cooldown. So it's kind of the way that mages have finishers, so to speak.
Yeah. So are we able to take a look at a few more of the skills? Is there any ones that currently are in that you're really proud or happy with so far?
Well, I mean, overall, we're really satisfied with the class. It's been in alpha now for a couple weeks, and the players really have been enjoying it. Like I said, I've pretty much shown a lot of the bread and butter, which is things like being able to charge into battle, bounce back out so you can throw ranged spells, get a variety of different abilities that allow you to proc cast time reductions, allowing you to insta-cast your big spells as finishers. There's also a bunch of other neat stuff, like the fact that he does get a slip-away style effect. That is extremely high in the Harbinger tree. So you're not going to pick up Storm Shroud unless you're very, very, very high in the Harbinger. It's also not permanent stealth, so rogues, don't worry. It's just a temporary escape / closer.
I think I heard a few rogues scream as soon as he turned invisible.
Yeah, well, they still have a lock on permanent stealth. That is something unique to the rogues. But the Harbinger gets a little bit of that utility very, very high in the tree. Like I said before, that's almost level 60. I think somewhere around level 58 they might pick that up.
Yeah. So you've shown us a fair amount of the Harbinger. We've also seen Dimensions previously. But there's something else you were going to show us.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just a tiny, tiny thing. Just very small.
Yeah, very small, and I actually teleported to the wrong place, so you get a chance to look at the Tower of Dawn as well, which is one of the new open world areas in the expansion.
That's some amazing
Let's try the right button now. There we go. So let's get this guy set up. So the last thing I want to give you guys a look at, and honestly, this is going to be more of a watch of, because this guy speaks for himself, and it's Volan. Volan is one of our world bosses, one of our zone event colossi.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the biggest and baddest monsters we've ever made to date. He's really quite impressive. So let's get him started here. Here's hoping Gamescom lag doesn't kick in. Oh, we're in good shape.
I was crossing my fingers hoping it wasn't about to crash.
Yeah, well, we had a little issue earlier on this week when the show first started. The bandwidth all of a sudden dried up, so we had to do some juju magic to get a little more, couple more megs down the pipe.
Because with so many different companies and different games here, it's just drawing so much power. Wow, that is big. And he's actually like crouching, sort of.
Oh, you don't really have an idea of the scale quite yet because he's the only thing on the screen. But in a moment, you'll kind of get a good idea of just how big he is.
So up to my knee. Not too tall.
And he's a little bit bigger than that.
Hey, I think I see us down there somewhere.
There I am right over there, that tiny little thing, that little speck. So you can see he's pretty huge. If I was actually to walk up next to him,
what are you doing? This isn't the smartest idea you've ever had.
Well, I have special GM powers, so I'm about as tall as his, big toe. so he's a little big. Actually, I'm about to get stepped on, so I'm going to avoid that if all possible.
That's absolutely crazy. Do you want to give us a little bit more information about the fight if you can?
Yeah, let me go ahead and get out of harm's way here real quick. Get a mount up and roll over here. So Volan is, like I said, our largest world boss to date. And please don't mind if I'm a little retarded. It's a little bit hard to demo and drive, so to speak. So he's a massive world boss. As you can see, he has some pretty cool looking attacks. In fact, I'm not near a power up. I'm gonna run over here. He also has a lot of interesting gameplay associated with him. So there are a variety of different things. So being as big as he is, you saw earlier I'd be fighting his big toe, which isn't a whole heck of a lot of fun. So what we've actually done with Volan and creatures like Volan is there are multiple areas you can attack him. So you can see I've selected different areas, different part of his knees, different part of his chest. And what that does is it gives different players different targets of opportunity. Each one of these objects is destroyable. So I'll come over here, use my big bomb developer nuke, and as you can see, I blew off big chunks of his leg armor.
Yeah.
As you do different things and you destroy different bits and pieces and weaken him, he'll react in different ways.
Yeah. It's crazy to see something that large.
Yeah. So other thing is, like you can see off in the distance here that just disappeared actually down here. There are a number of power-ups that drop during the encounter. These are actually like chunks and bits of Volan's armor that you've blown off. You can pick them up and get a pretty sizable buff. As I'm running by here, I'm gonna pick on his other knee. Hopefully avoid the arm and getting smashed.
I'm just waiting for you to get stood on.
There's actually an achievement for getting stomped by Volan. It's kind of entertaining.
Has it got a name yet?
Huh?
Has it got a name yet?
No, not quite yet. We need to come up with a new idea. Whoop. Didn't mean to get in the way of the camera there. Sorry. It's a bit my chrome dome. Now, one of the other nice things about Volan, I'll see if I can get him to do this, is there's certain times if you use certain jump pads and things in the zone. So say, for example, I use this jump pad here. If I use it at the proper time when he's charging up his chest beam, for example, what'll happen is I'll get a bonus buff. Is what here we go. Oh no.
No, what are you doing?
I got it. Maybe. There we go. Oh, I missed it.
Oh,
so
close.
What would normally happen if you go ahead and get sucked into his charge beam, you'll get a temporary ability allow you to do massive damage and blow off his chest piece in just a couple hits. Since I'm a GM, I can get away with that pretty quickly.
He is so impressive. It looks like a fantastic fight.
Yep, I mean, it's even more impressive than that. Now that I've kind of damaged him a little bit, you'll see that he'll move on and he actually interacts with the world when he does.
Is this going to be the wall thing? by any chance? I remember hearing something.
This isn't quite the wall thing. This is other things.
Where is he going? What is he doing?
Well, he's moving on along, and since he can't get on the bridge, he's going to go ahead and go over it. As you can see, the environment gets affected as Volan moves around.
He thinks he's people.
Yes, indeed.
I'm confused by where he's going.
Well, he's moving along. Obviously, he doesn't like getting punched in the face by these catapults here, so he is going to do something about it.
He can do many, many things. He's kind of large. He's, no one's really going to be able to stop him from doing that apart from, you.
Yes, indeed. And so in addition to him having pretty awesome loot, he also opens up a variety of areas as he wrecks his way through the city. So the longer the encounter goes on, the more successful you are, the more areas you'll unlock. So we're going to finish this quick little demo, well, quick being 5 minutes, with Volan crashing through this wall, as you were so mentioning earlier.
Ah. Now, see, I've not actually seen this in action, but I heard things when you were showing it off on the live stream. So, he's going to literally smash it down.
Yes, he's going to be breaking through the environment, leaving permanent change, opening up this area, which will be available to players for a period of time after the encounter is over.
Okay, and what can we find in this area?
A variety of new quests, achievements, collections, all sorts of stuff.
Awesome. It really seems like you're just making the world even more insane.
Oh yeah, that's all we're doing, is we're really trying to amp it up.
And apparently everyone has just screamed with joy as well.
Well, yeah, we're about to get into our next big giveaway, so
I think we should start wrapping this up.
It's going to get quite noisy.
So do you want to give them the website that they can go to follow and get more information?
So you can go ahead and head over to riftgame.com and find out all sorts of information about Rift. Download the Rift Lite client and try the game for free. See more about Storm Legion. We're really looking forward to it, and we'll see all of you guys late 2012 when we launch.
Adam, thank you very much.